So last time some homework was given.
You can start recording.
Yeah. So a little bit of homework was given. Anybody would like to share? I hope everyone remembers.
Sir, honestly, it skipped my mind, sir. Sorry, sir. Need to admit, but I forgot about it.
Acha, acha. No problem. No problem. Okay. I had suggested to practice this pranayam where only the exhalation part was to be done. Bahya vritti pranayam was to be practiced. And in that, the suggestion was that we sit in a meditative posture and then very gently we inhale, exhale. Then after a short inhalation, we exhale. And after exhalation, we suspend the breath as long as possible. Now, as long as possible doesn't mean that we try the full capacity, but as far as comfortable. So the next round of breath will be equally comfortable. And this way, for a few seconds, we were to go in suspension. That was the suggestion I had given. Maybe since it was not done, maybe you can try it now. For 5 rounds, we can do that. So sit in a meditative posture or just wherever you are sitting. If you are sitting on the chair, then keep your back straight, neck straight. Observe the breathing for a while. Pay attention to the entire body. See that the entire body is relaxed. Become aware of the inhalation, exhalation. Let it be a normal inhalation, exhalation for a few rounds. Now what we have to do is short inhalation, say 3 counts, then 6 counts exhalation, and that exhalation has to be very gentle. But what we have to ensure is that exhalation merges into suspension. So we exhale in such a way that gradually we stop breathing out and maintain this suspended breathing for say 8 counts, 8 seconds or 9 seconds. That should be comfortable. And after that, 2-3 rounds of normal breath. Then again, we repeat this entire process. I hope the instructions are clear. Short inhalation of 3 counts, 6 counts exhalation. Let the exhalation gently merge into suspension. You are not breathing in. You are holding the breath out. And at the same time, you are aware that when you are exhaling, the abdomen slightly goes in. You are not putting any conscious effort there. Automatically, it happens. So just few rounds of this. Start. You can keep your eyes closed if you want. If you want, you can keep your eyes open if you want. Okay. Slowly open your eyes. Now, as we have seen that pranayam comes after asana. So definitely in terms of concentration, pranayam gives a better concentration and better ability to control the mind. And last time, if we recall a little, the discussion we had, all the effort in pranayam is towards controlling the vrittis, having good concentration, good focus, and the techniques we discuss. Now, two more sutras are dealing with pranayam, Sutra 52 and Sutra 53. And both these sutras are talking about what are the benefits of successful pranayam, what happens when we succeed in practice of pranayam. The first sutra which deals with this Siddhi, Tatah kshiyate Prakasha varnam. So translated, it means by that or by pranayam, the veil over manifestation of knowledge is thinned. So that means the veil over knowledge which we should acquire, but we are not able to acquire because of the cover, because of the veil. That veil is removed with the help of pranayam. That is what sutra means. And then dharana su cha yogyata manasah. Dharana su cha yogyata manasah. Mind also acquires the ability for fixity, that is dharana. So these are the two benefits which occur. These are the two siddhis of pranayam. Now, when we talk about this tatah kshiyate prakasha varnam, we have to understand, last time we discussed about it, that mere stoppage of breathing does not constitute pranayam. Pranayam is not a breathing exercise. It is not an exercise for strengthening the lungs. Strengthening of the lungs, good physical apparatus for breathing, all these are byproducts of pranayam. Pranayam technique as such was made for the purpose of controlling the mind, stopping the mind, stopping the vrittis. So if we are doing yogic pranayam, it has to contribute to concentration and not involuntary kind of concentration, but voluntary concentration. So this also we have seen that our minds are capable of concentration. All of us, we are good in concentration. Nobody can say that I have got poor concentration. Everybody has got good concentration. But the only thing is, most of the time this concentration is towards desired objects, things we like, things we love to do. We are good in concentrating on those areas. But if we are asked to concentrate on any random thing, then we may not be able to concentrate. So that is where yoga comes in. Yoga is voluntary concentration. So we decide the object. So for example, a body part can be decided, tip of the nose, tip of the tongue, area between the eyebrows. It could be heart, or it could be navel. It could be the top of the head. It could be any chakra. So wherever our teachers suggest or whatever is desirable according to our pursuit and according to our desire, voluntary focus has to be there. Voluntary concentration has to be there. So this is the difference between voluntary concentration and involuntary concentration. In that involuntary concentration occurs on its own. Objects draw the mind, so mind becomes focused. We love some watching movies, then we can get lost into the movies. We like to read novels, we can get lost into reading novels. We love music, we can get lost into the listening to music for hours together. We have got very good concentration, but that is not a yogic concentration. So mind acquires this ability for yogic concentration. That is the primary thing. And that's why it is says that dharana sucha yogyata manasa. The mind acquires the capacity to fix itself on any object. And this tatakshiyate prakasha varnam, this is very important aspect to understand from the yoga point of view. The consciousness which is there behind every thought and every vritti, that consciousness always eludes us. And as we are subjected to kleshas like avidya. So what is the primary avidya? Primary avidya, this avidya we have already discussed in great detail. And we see that avidya is the root cause of all the problems we have in life. According to yoga, avidya is the root cause. Gautam Buddha also said the same thing. So in Pratitya Samutpad, the primary thing is avidya. The cause of our suffering is avidya. So this avidya, why avidya is there and why we are not able to get rid of this avidya? Because of the avidya, lots of wrong thinking, wrong perceptions occurs. And because of those wrong perceptions, wrong thinking, wrong ideas, we go on acting in a wrong manner and we create suffering for ourselves. So if we understand that, this avidya is to be removed, but how to remove avidya? So, and what is the primary form of avidya? Primary form of avidya is that we are totally identified with our body. We take our body to be the ultimate thing. We don't pay attention to the consciousness part which is there in all of us. Our essence is consciousness. So this essence, in different ideologies, they will call, or different philosophies in India, it is called Atma, Pratak Chetna, or Shuddha Chaitanya. The various names are there. But all of us have this consciousness as our essence at the root. But we fail to recognize it and we are not able to see because somewhere this is lost and we think the body is everything. We are very much body oriented. So in asanas we saw tato dandva anavigata. To a certain extent we become free from the extremes. We are able to transcend the body. But still, at a deeper level, this avidya is working that my mind, my buddhi, and my body, it is the most important. Actually, this calculating mind is our biggest enemy because it is creating all the problems for us. And not a single moment passes when we are not thinking of something. Now also, the purpose of asking you to do few rounds of pranayam was just to becoming aware that, it is not easy to concentrate. When we were doing this, what was the experience? How many thoughts came at that time? Was it very smooth as it was suggested? Or was it a disturbed kind of concentration? So from this little exercise, we must have come how difficult it is for the mind to concentrate because we are never able to transcend this I-ness and my-ness. I'm thinking, I want this, I want to do that. So mind keeps on running here and there and thoughts are coming. So this is the normal way of functioning. But in pranayam, what happens is when we are really successful in pranayam, one experiences very great amount of concentration. And in that concentration, one is able to free from the concerns of body and also concerns of mind. A stage may come where a person experiences as if he is bodiless. He doesn't have a body. He doesn't have a mind. He's just existing in pure consciousness. That is the kind of experience. So there is a kind of disentanglement with the false self. We are living by this false self entity called ego. So there is a kind of disengagement takes place because of the pranayam practice. Now this will remain only an intellectual idea if we have not experienced it, if we have not thought about it. But then if we have been following this yoga philosophy, then you will find that ego is a false reality. Ego it is an imposter. Our ego is an imposter. Behind ego, there is this consciousness. That is what yoga suggests. But we are never able to reach that. So when pranayam is done, then what happens is there is a kind of disengagement which is taking place. So one may experience that as if he is not there. One loses consciousness of everything physical. And even at the thought level, all the vrittis as if stop. That kind of state is possible in pranayam. So when that happens, the knowledge which comes because of that is in the form of that I am separate from my body. My body is only my instrument. I am using my body, but I am not really my body. I am something more than my body. So this kind of experience where one is able to experience this consciousness, then it becomes easy for pursuing it little deeper. And this way, this pranayam is able to help. Now, this knowledge, what is the wheel which is talked about here? ततः क्षीयते प्रकाशावरणम. आवरण, हमारे मन के ऊपर एक आवरण है, कवर है. Our mind is covered by avidya. Now this wheel, this avaran, it is removed by pranayam. So how it will be removed? This avaran is there because all the time we are thinking, I am the body, I am the mind, I am my thoughts, I am my wealth, I am my house, I have this relationship, I have that relationship. So we are continuously engaged. All 24 hours of the day, we are engaged in the material world, in the physical body, in the thoughts, in the vrittis. So in pranayam, that stops, and one is able to get a glimpse of this consciousness. And when one gets this kind of glimpse, then one is able to see that the body and this mind or vrittis, they are not one with the consciousness. Consciousness is separate. So in a way, it is removing that avaran of avidya. One is able to see and experience. Technically, we say, this Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, we say, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. These are the, sentences which we hear from Upanishad, and the saints and sages and the rishis and munis, they tell us that you are not only this body. Tattvamasi means you are the Atma. Aham sarva khalvidam brahmasi. इस प्रकार के these are the words which we are hearing from the Shastras, but we don't have any such experience because all the time our consciousness is engaged in the material objects. So when we are able to experience this kind of pure consciousness, then the knowledge which comes, that is able to remove this infatuation, that is able to remove this avidya. So avidya as a result is weakened. And once the avidya is weakened, it is also said that pranayam is the highest kind of tapa. So in Mahabharata, it is said that there is no better tapa than pranayam. And when we talk about tapa, what is the function of tapa? The tapa word itself, tapa means heat. And heat comes when there is a resistance. Tapa doesn't come on its own. When there is a resistance, then now see, the hands are here. If I keep doing this, there is no tapa. But if I do this vigorously, what will happen? There will be a heat. So one hand is resisting the other hand. That's why the heat is generated. So at psychological level, the impulses, the habits, the past sanskaras, the avidya, this veil over the knowledge, they are all the time forcing us to think in a certain way, to experience the world in a certain way. But through pranayam, we are able to arrest that. Through pranayam, we are able to resist that. So when we are resisting that, there is a tapa created. That is what is tapas. And what is the function of tapas? Tapas burns down the old structure and it creates new structures. So it is like, you get the gold in natural condition. It is not pure. So what we do is we heat the gold and all the dross which is there in the gold, which is removed by the heat, then we get the pure gold. It is like that. So when tapa is done, the old habits or which habitual things, they are dropped. And a new way of looking at things can occur. A new perception can occur. we know that all the mystics all over the world, they do talk about this reality which we are not able to see, which they are able to see. So they keep seeing that, they're saying that, try to have a better perception of life. All the time, don't do this me and mine. मेरा क्या होगा, मेरे घर का क्या होगा, मेरे बच्चों का क्या होगा, मेरे पैसों का क्या होगा, मेरी प्रॉपर्टी का क्या होगा. इसके आगे बढ़ के भी कुछ सोचेंगे तो तुमको मालूम पड़ेगा कि रियलिटी क्या है. No doubt, some realization did occur at the time of Corona when things were really bad and we had to withdraw from, and although all that which we considered valuable, it appeared to be valueless because nothing was able to help us. All the money, all the riches, when we were locked in our homes, nothing was able to help us. So that was the time many people must have realized the futility of all the wealth, because it doesn't help in the critical, and that is not the real thing. But then we take that as a real thing. So we are not in yoga, we are not waiting for the disaster to occur. We are not waiting for a very painful situation to arise to be able to learn. But we can learn from the techniques of yoga. Like we can learn a lot from yamas, niyamas, we can learn a lot from asanas. Same way, we can learn a lot from pranayam. If we have done pranayam, we will understand that immediately mind becomes calm. There's a certain amount of peace we experience, which is not normally possible. No matter what kind of pleasures we are having in life, no matter what kind of natural beauty is there, what kind of external circumstances are there, we cannot experience the kind of peace which we acquire when we are sitting in meditation and doing pranayam. It's a different kind of peace of mind. It's a different kind of experience. So we build on that experience. And then we get glimpse of the reality. And when that glimpse of reality comes, all the old knowledge ceases to affect us. And then our actions are totally new kind of actions. We are not interested in the older thing, because if we value the new thing, if we experience peace and we value it, then it becomes valuable. And then we strive for it. And when we strive for it, we stop doing all those things which will take away the peace of mind. So this is the way the change in behavior occurs. All our actions are changing. And as a result, we are able to experience something better and better. That's why it is said that it is the, kind of removing the wheel, removing the cover from the truth. And Prakash, the word Prakash, which is there in the Sutra, Tatha Kshiyate Prakasha Varnam. Prakash means knowledge. Prakash means Sattva. Sattva Guna has the capacity. We are able to perceive, we are able to know, because there is Sattva in us. And this Sattva has the capacity to know everything. But that Sattva is always prevented from knowing truth because of the tamasic and rajasic tendencies. So our desires, our inhibitions, our emotions, our feelings, our fears, all those are responsible for preventing us from seeing the truth. So in a way, pranayam is able to help us remove all these obstacles and bring the mind to a state of pure sattva, where the knowledge is there and one can understand things in a much better way. So it requires certain amount of work. And if we are doing, normally what happens is, it is very unfortunate that all over the world, pranayam is being taken as a physical exercise of lungs, breathing exercise. And then it remains only a breathing exercise. All the benefits of breathing exercise will be available in pranayam. But then the peace of mind which it can give, that will not be available, because we are not doing pranayam from that perspective. So last sutra we discussed about, last session we discussed how pranayam is to be practiced. So if it is done in a prescribed manner, then it is possible for a person to really experience what is stated in the sutras. So Prakash Avran, Sattva becomes purified. The more Sattva is there, the more harmony, the more peace, the more tranquility. And the more tranquility is there, the better concentration is. If the better concentration is, the better understanding is there. So we are going near truth with the help of pranayam. Now, being a physical technique, it can provide us with so many benefits. And Then we also saw this idea, chale vate chalam chittam. Thinking and pranas, they are closely connected. Thinking cannot occur without prana. In absence of prana, thinking cannot occur. And one of the major problems we are facing in life is disturbance of mind, uncontrolled thoughts. We are not able to direct our mind. We are not able to focus our mind on the desired object because so many thoughts are there. Thoughts keep rushing in, coming in, and they are connected to the prana supply to the brain. So in a way, pranayam is a technique through which we can regulate the energy supply to the thinking process. And at will, we can also reduce that supply. If we reduce that supply, then what happens is the thinking stops and concentration automatically occurs. Now, this fact is stated. It is very easy to control the mind. It is very easy to remove unnecessary thoughts from the mind. It is very easy to stop the chattering of the mind, but we are not trained. But here yoga is telling us to do this. And this is a very ancient, since ancient times, this is being told. Now, you see, modern psychology, does modern psychology doesn't know about it? Does the medical science doesn't know about it? They know it. But no doctor is going to tell you that you can control your thoughts with the help of breathing. If you regulate your breathing, your thoughts will be there. If the person is having excessive thinking, uncontrolled thinking, then they will put him on chemicals. Some sedatives will be there, given to dull the mind, to dull the activity of the mind, to dull the activity of brain. Some sedatives will be given. If a person goes to a yogi, he will say, do pranayam number 1, 2, 3, 30 rounds and see what happens. After 30 rounds of breathing, immediately the mental activity comes down. Mind becomes very calm. I remember somewhere in 88, 89, or maybe, yeah, around that time, at Yoga Institute, we had started various camps. And many of us, we were part of the process of, starting those camps and participating in those camps as volunteers. So Swati is there, Babul is there, Ajay is there. They will be aware that when these camps started, how the activity was there. So the very first camp for mentally disturbed people, it was conducted. And it's a coincidence and my good fortune that I was a volunteer in that. So I was volunteering, some main teachers were there, I was assisting there. And then we taught these participants to walk on a plank. A plank was put in the hall and then you walk you balance and you walk. This was one exercise. And then they were taught one pranayam which is called as Shunyak Pranayam at Yoga Institute. Pranayam number 5. So there were around 30 participants, or maybe 25, 30 participants were there. Now, after doing this pranayam, sharing was done. And one lady in that group, I still remember how she shared it. When we asked him, what did you feel after doing this pranayam? So she said that I felt as if my mind had stopped working. This was the experience shared by that lady. I still distinctly remember. And I have talked about this experience of that lady in several classes of pranayam, which I subsequently took. So pranayam has that potential that it can stop the mind from functioning. Now let it not be only a theoretical idea. Now you see, just now become aware of the content of the mind right now. Whatever is there in your mind, become aware of it. Now I'm asking you to think of something which is very interesting for you, which you like, which you love. Just think about that. Maybe you like sweets. Maybe you like visiting some places. Maybe you like some persons. Think about them. Just think about them and see what happens to the mind and how easy it is to think about them. The moment I said these words, in everybody's mind, something got triggered and your mind went into your favorite areas which you like which you love. Maybe you are thinking about those things. Okay. Now, what we will do is we will do the same exercise which we did. We'll inhale, we'll exhale, and during the stoppage of the breath, you are free to think whatever you want to think. Even the most loud things which you like to think about. You are free to have all the vrittis. Here we are not talking about stoppage of vrittis. Here we are not talking about controlling the mind. Here we are not talking about controlling the vrittis. So you can have as many vrittis as you want. You are free to have all the vrittis, but with stoppage of the breath. So stop the breath and think of whatever you want to think and see what happens. Now you will do it for, say, 5 counts. 5 times you will do it. So 5 times, stop the breath and think of whatever you want to think and see what happens. Start. Okay. For some of you, the shunyak may be difficult. Exhaling and suspending might be difficult. Now the same thing we try. After inhalation, stop the breathing as long as possible. So you inhale, hold the breath as long as possible. And when you are holding the breath, try to think of whatever you want to think and see what happens. So for 5 rounds, we do that. Okay. So tell me now what happened.
सर विचार जो आपने बोला ना कि कोई टॉपिक पर्टिकुलरली आपको पसंद है वो, लेकिन वो टाइम में मीन्स नहीं हुआ। मीन्स ऐसा मन में जब भी आप बोल रहे थे तभी मुझे लगा कि मैं सिक्किम का याद करेगी, मुझे वो सीन अच्छा लग रहा था, लेकिन अभी जब भी किया ना तो नहीं याद आया।
नहीं याद आ रहा।
नहीं,
तो इसका मतलब क्या कि माइंड की एक्टिविटी
बहुत स्लो डाउन हो गया।
ओके।
जब भी आपने इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया ना तो मैं सोची ये जगह बहुत सुंदर थी, मुझे अभी वो याद आएगा, लेकिन नहीं याद आया।
ओके, व्हाट अबाउट अदर्स?
Actually, there was no margin, no space to have any thought. Like,
Okay, so you could not think of anything.
no, I was just totally engrossed in that holding the breath and taking and releasing. That's all at the most.
Okay. So
The thought was only, I think, of the next breath. Like if we are exhaling and holding, then you feel the next whatever to inhale, exhale, vice versa. So after a while of that pause, I think then the focus is on the next what has to be done, kind of.
next breath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that is the same with me, sir.
I don't know. When I was
So
holding, sorry.
No, you
So,
can.
so when I was holding, as if it completely stops, sir. Only some sound of quietness or something.
Okay.
The thought just does not come. Especially
was
when I
trying
inhale,
to
especially when I inhale and hold, sir, that time. More
Okay.
that time.
Okay.
So my mind wanted to go beyond that thought. So I was trying to go on that thought, which was very pleasant for me. But my mind didn't want to stop there. It wanted to go beyond, deeper, like
Okay.
to a more quieter place. I don't know. It just wanted to go beyond that.
So that can happen only when you are enjoying this. So were you enjoying it?
Yeah, very much, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now, there are others who can share, but if anybody feels strongly, you can share it. But whatever we are discussing just now, what conclusion can we draw from it? Now imagine your mind is very disturbed. Somebody has said something because of which you are agitated, because of which you are disturbed. Or suppose we are having thoughts, angry thoughts. That time ये हमको सूझता नहीं है कि हम प्राणायाम करें. But suppose if the mind is disturbed and we do this 10 rounds of pranayam like this, what will happen to that anger? What will happen to that mental state? The example which I shared of that lady, what is the characteristics of people who are mentally disturbed? One of the most important weakness, one of the most important problem area for mentally disturbed people is that they cannot stop thinking. They don't have control over the mind. They are not connected to the reality. They are going into the thoughts and they are getting lost. They lose connection with the reality. So this lady, when she said that, I felt as if my mind has stopped. So we asked her, if that is the case, then you now know how to stop the mind. She said, yes, I know it now. So you understand when yoga says yoga's chitta vritti nirodha, what it means, how the thoughts are to be regulated, how the good state of minds are created. This is the reason whenever we are doing any successful yoga practice or any meditation practice, after doing meditation, we feel charged with energy, we feel energetic, the mind is very calm, the mind is quiet, there's tranquility, there's peace. So all that is within our reach with the help of these techniques. But are we really interested in that? That is the primary question. If we are interested in that, then the technique is given to us by Patanjali, and there are several other kinds of techniques all over the world. Breathing techniques are there. Wherever meditation is there, breathing techniques are there. Sometimes the breathing itself becomes a meditation. So it is possible, and that is why Hatha Yoga says, Chale vate chalam chittam nischale nischalam bhave. So you have to understand this connection between thinking and the prana supply. So it is prana supply, you can automatically it is happening. When we are angry, when we are mentally disturbed, when we are shouting in the mind, there is a chattering going on in the mind. That time our breathing becomes disturbed. We are breathing very fast. This is involuntarily happening. Whatever will be the physical and mental state, accordingly the breathing will be altered automatically. Once we recognize that there is a connection of breathing with this physical state and mental state, and breathing is one activity which is automatically happening. Now we are talking to each other, we are listening, you are listening, I am talking. Breathing is going on automatically. According to physical state, according to mental state, the breathing is going on. But if we know that this connection is there, and when we are disturbed, if we want to change that disturbed state, we can immediately shift to the breathing. We can take charge of the mind. So breathing is one activity which is automatic as well as it is voluntary. So through motor nervous system, we can regulate. If we want to stop the breath, we can stop it for a while. If we want to prolong the breath, we can prolong it for a little while. And through this method of prolonging and stoppage of breathing, we can alter the state of body, we can alter the state of energy level, we can alter the state of mind. All those possibilities are suggested in yoga. And that is what these two sutras are telling us. Tata kshiyate prakasha varnam dharana sucha yogyata manasa. When one is able to understand, it is the weak state of mind to say that I can't control my mind. But when one recognizes that, through certain techniques, it is possible to, change the state of mind, then we are empowered. A new kind of empowerment comes through which we can regulate our life, we can regulate our emotions. And personally also I have experienced a few things, whenever doctor taught us pranayam and we practice these pranayams, they do create a very good state of mind. So only thing is maybe we are not interested, that's why we are not bothered about it, but the techniques are there. If we are interested in these kind of peaceful states, then through the help of techniques, they can be there. So again, a simple question will communicate this or clarify this. If by doing pranayam mind becomes calm, same question I ask many times people who are practicing yoga. I ask them, when do you feel calm and quiet? So after doing Sukhasana for 10 minutes, I become calm. I become very quiet. This is the common experience most of the people will share. So you enjoy that state? Yes, like just now somebody said that I enjoyed that state. So if you enjoy that state, then how many times do you repeat it during the day? So the people say we do it only once. If you enjoy the thing, why you don't repeat it often? Don't you want to feel peace and tranquility throughout the day? And don't you get opportunity to quietly sit for a few minutes, close your eyes and feel the peace? It is possible. Even in the office also, we can take mini breaks, very short breaks. We can just close eyes and take 1 or 2 deep breaths. That's all. It's enough to change the mental state. Now, these are the practical things which can occur with the help of these techniques, but we don't think about it. We think most of the time we are in demonstrative and competitive mode. So when we are doing pranayams in classes, itna der wo rok raha hai, utna der main rok paya kya? So there also this competition, asan, whether I can demonstrate this, I can. More than what we are able to do with asanas with our body, we should be interested in what we are acquiring by way of experience while doing the posture. Same way in pranayam, more than how long we are able to hold, how many rounds we are able to do, more than that, what mental state we are gaining, what kind of experience we are gaining out of that. That should be our aim, that should be our objective. And if that is our objective, then that what is stated in these two sutras, to a certain extent, we can experience them. That is what Patanjali is telling us. Hatha Yoga also is telling, we talked about tapa, pranayam as tapa. If you look at Hatha Yoga, in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, when the pranayam chapter comes, right at the beginning of the chapter, they say, don't start pranayam immediately. First, what you have to do is you have to do nadi shodhan. Your body is impure. Purify your body. Now, how to purify your body? Again, simple pranayam technique of Anulom Vilom is suggested. Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. Now imagine, very clearly stated, something which is physical, impurity. Impurity is in the nervous system, impurity in the body. That can be removed with the help of merely doing Anulom Vilom. This is what is Hatha Yoga suggestion. So Hatha Yoga Pradipika say Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. At our institute, it is known as Pranayam number 9, Anulom Vilom. So it is the same technique. Now, these are very basic, simple techniques, but we know that as far as physical health management is concerned, when certain physical conditions are there, we can't do other kinds of pranayam, but Anulom Vilom can be very easily done. Alternate breathing can be easily done. And they say that now scientifically it has been proved that the balance is there in the what is known as sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. As soon as we start, after few rounds of pranayam, alternate breathing pranayam, immediately there is a change in the physical state. So they say that these two sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system will come into play. So unfortunately, most of the time we are in sympathetic tone. Most of the time. That's why our BP blood pressure is shooting up. Lot of thinking is there. Breathing is very fast. Lot of physical damage is occurring as a result of more stress hormones are there in our blood. All these are indications of sympathetic nervous system working all the time. We don't allow parasympathetic nervous system to come into play. And given the condition of our environment, our society, the traveling part, the office culture, and the stresses which are there in job, sympathetic nervous system is all the time working. So our BPs are shooting up, adrenaline is pumping, blood is blood is working in our blood pressure is increasing. So pranayam is one technique. This Anulom Vilom, simple technique. They say that you can trigger parasympathetic nervous system into play, and blood pressure comes down. So all those possibilities. Now these are all indications. These the people who are using yoga as a therapy, they are applying it in certain circumstances because these techniques have that kind of potentiality. Primarily, they are for concentration of the mind, acquiring mental peace, but then they have this side benefit that they can bring about little health, better health. They can affect our circulation, they can affect our thinking, they can affect our nervous system. So Nadi Shodhan is what? All the agitations which are there, they are removed. Body becomes calm, quiet, tranquil, peaceful. And when body is very relaxed, body is very calm, the circulation is proper. Breathing becomes deeper. So these are very closely connected things. Maybe we can think a little on these areas.
Can you just little elaborate about the parasympathetic things? We don't know.
See, apart from the motor nervous system or voluntary nervous system, now I am talking to you, I am using voluntary nervous system. I am raising my hand, it is the voluntary nervous system. But while we are talking to each other, why abhi almost 40-45 minutes we are, or 50 minutes we are together. All this while, if some exciting thought is there, that there is a change taking place in the body. So if you are worried, if you are angry, or if you are disturbed, our blood pressure will shoot up, our blood circulation will, our eyes will dilate, saliva generation will be affected. So when there is a more activity of the metabolism, more saliva is, the mouth becomes dry, the pupils are getting wider, the blood circulation is affected. So all that is the function of sympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system increases the activity of the body. So all the parameters will change and they will increase. They will go in emergency mode. But parasympathetic will cool it down. So if sympathetic increases the blood pressure, then parasympathetic will decrease the blood pressure. Heartbeat will increase in the sympathetic, heartbeat will come down in parasympathetic. Digestion will stop completely in sympathetic. In parasympathetic, digestion may become regulated, it may become normal. The body may function well and properly, the digestion will take place. So when we are mentally disturbed, we are triggering sympathetic. But when we are relaxed and when we are very calm, the parasympathetic nervous system comes into play, and then body repairs. Body goes into a repair mode. So these are the physical advantages of pranayama. But we discuss about the psychological and the mental aspect. But physiologically also, it is very important to understand.
Sir, I know that pranayama actually activates our parasympathetic nervous system, but as we say that pranayama is paramo tapa, and as you said that tapa is creating the resistance and it creates heat. So doesn't it activate the sympathetic nervous system as well?
No, it is
creates
not
heat.
that. So it is not causing stress. It is not that kind of heat.
Okay.
It is a, see, you are taking it literally. Don't take it literally
Okay.
in that sense.
Okay.
Resistance of what? Now tell me, you are about to get angry. Okay, you are about to get angry. And the moment you are about to get angry, you become aware that I am getting angry. And then you do 5 rounds of shunya, 5 rounds of pranayam. So after 10 minutes, you are very calm and quiet. So where is the loss? So what has been destroyed and what has been gained? Think about it.
Yeah, because of the anger, the heat also has generated in the body, and that has cooled down because of the 5 deep breaths also.
You can think of the explanations.
Actually, it balances the things. So the axis is being balanced by that pranayam.
And say again, सुनाई नहीं दिया.
ये जो अभी बोला ना इन्होंने फाल्गुनी ने कि गुस्सा आ रहा है या कुछ बढ़ जाता है, बट प्राणायाम जो है बैलेंस करता है. उधर एक्सेस हो गया है तो इट हैज जस्ट रिड्यूस दैट थिंग.
यस. नो
दैट
बट
इज द फिक्शन अबाउट दैट.
नहीं तो इन रिजल्ट जो हमने कहा कि तप प्राणायाम तप है जिससे कुछ डिस्ट्रॉय होता है. तो अभी ये सिचुएशन में आप गुस्सा होने वाले थे और आप गुस्से की जगह पे आप शांत हो गए, तो क्या डिस्ट्रॉय हुआ यहाँ पे? कौन सी चीज
नेगेटिव
डिस्ट्रॉय हुई?
एक्सेस जो था, जो नेगेटिव एक्सेस था.
Yeah, the negative emotions got destroyed. The nervous energy
Yeah.
which was involved in that got destroyed. And you
Hmm.
gained a balance. You gained some kind of tranquility. You gained
Yes.
strength. तो जब डिस्ट्रॉय होगा तो नई चीज पैदा होगी ना. तो नई चीज कौन सी पैदा हुई?
एक्चुअली रिसेंटली आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस इट. अभी मुझे डेंगू हुआ था अभी राखी के टाइम पर. तो उसमें मुझे ऐसा इतना सीवियर पेन होता था मॉर्निंग में, अर्ली मॉर्निंग में. आई जस्ट यूज्ड टू गेट अप एज इफ माय होल ब्रेन विल जस्ट scattered into pieces, and the moment I have to get up, I have to just collect all the pieces and then I have to get up. So morning I'm just getting up around 4, before 4 or 4 o'clock. So I started sitting and doing this Anulom Vilom, and you won't believe such a big surprise. Just such a severe headache within 5 minutes became normal.
Good observation.
I have not taken any medicine, no medicine at all.
Why I asked that question, sir, because while learning Hatha Yoga, Sabir sir has actually told us that all the pranayam, all the Ashtakumbhakas, even the Shitli Shitkari, which is actually cooling in nature, but they are meant to increase the heat in the body. So like Shitli Shitkari mein bhi unhone bola ki at the level of the perineum, there is a heat which has been generated. And the very aim of the Ashtakumbhaka is to activate the Kundalini, like generating heat in the body. So that is the reason I ask you, why that tapa is aise hai kya?
No, I will not be able to comment on it. You will have to check with him what he meant by that. And maybe you can get some explanations from him. I can't.
Just a query, sir. When we say that pranayam should not be done in a disturbed state of mind, like it's better to do something physical rather than do pranayam. So this is in context with the parasympathetic or in what sense? Like if you can explain that to me.
Yeah. You see, if the mind is agitated and at that time, if we are immediately starting the pranayam, then what we may tend to do is we may increase the prana supply to the disturbed mind and it may enhance the disturbance. That should not occur. That's why it is said that pranayam should not be done in a disturbed state of mind. So first we calm down, we relax, certain amount of stability. And that's why if we look to the Sutra 49, Tasmin Sati Shwasa Prashwasa Yora Gati Vicheda Pranayam. This Tasmin is referring to physical stability. It is referring to a stable body which is in asan. उस स्थिति में शरीर को शांत रखते हुए प्राणायाम करना चाहिए. No doubt, when the mind is very disturbed, we can also make use of this technique to calm down the mind. But that will be just calming down of the mind. That will not give us the highest kind of experience which these sutras are talking. We can make use of this technique to calm down, but that will not be properly pranayam. That will be a physiological advantage or maybe at the psychological advantage we can take. So when, like it is suggested by most of the psychologists, that when you are about to get angry, count 10 or take 10 rounds of breath. So there is an intention to calm down. If this intention is not there, then this will not work. If that awareness is there, that I want to calm down, so I am focusing on the breath, immediately there will be a change. But that clarity is there. That's why it is occurring. Otherwise, it will not occur.
And you can do Nadi Shodhan to cool down.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And can you do Nadi Shodhan at that time when?
Yeah. Anything which you think. See, the moment we find that we are about to get disturbed, and we do something with conscious this thought that by doing this I am avoiding that. In day before yesterday, one class was there where a person, old student, she shared that she was having an argument with somebody, and she realized that she was about to get angry. And she said that I thought that if we continue the argument, I am surely going to get angry and shout. So immediately I told that person, look here, I don't want to talk further. Let us stop here because I'm going to lose my mind. So I'm not interested in losing my mind. So let us stop it. And they stopped and things were fine. And she said, I felt so good after doing this. Because that once the awareness came, then the intention came that no, I don't have to allow myself to get disturbed.
And even if you get this, by chance, if you get disturbed and angry, whatever, and then you decide to do, I mean, you can't do pranayam straight away,
Yes.
Shunyak. What
No, that will happen. We are human beings, that will happen. Our bodies and our minds are conditioned. They have been programmed to function in a certain way. So we will keep getting disturbed. We'll keep getting angry. So unfortunately, when that happens, then the test is how fast we are able to come back to normal. How fast we can get rid of the negativity and negative emotions and come to a good state of mind,
Right.
a balanced state of mind, a focused state of mind, a pleasant state of mind.
But in that agitated state, what I understood is it's better not to go for Shunyak or this thing. It's first you have to do Anulom.
Or any physical activity we can disturb. Many people go for walk, many people start singing, many people just, like doctor suggested, that when you are feeling mentally disturbed, take a cloth and start wiping and cleaning your house.
So
Most easy way. Don't have to go anywhere. Just start cleaning whatever is there.
Okay, so just one thing on this Shunyak, the way you taught it. So first you inhale for 3 counts, then you exhale for say 6 counts, and then when should you take the stomach in?
It will, as you are exhaling, it will go automatically.
Yeah, but then my tendency is it goes up, goes down, but it's not fully inside, right? So then
it's okay. No, we don't have to bother about it. We just become aware of that. We just become because if we become aware of it and we consciously do it, then it will go in Uddiyana Bandha.
It's going to be?
It will become Uddiyana Bandha. It will become a Bandha. We are not doing Bandha here.
Which is not needed.
No.
Yeah.
Here automatically, when we are inhaling, last time we saw that the diaphragm goes down, the stomach comes out. Diaphragm goes up, the stomach goes in. It is naturally occurring.
Thank you, sir.
We leave it here.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.